Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NLW episode 63, just one night removed from Zero Fear. What a pay-per-view that was. Seth Rollins retaining the world title against Pentagon Jr., Kenny Omega losing to Shinsuke Nakamura, and of course the controversy surrounding Sting and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Tonight our main event is undecided as of yet because of all the commotion that's gone on at Zero Fear. We're up in the air about what's going on tonight, but first, before we get into any action, let's go to the backstage area with one of the newest wrestlers here in NLW. Good evening. With April 15th coming up, there are a lot of people who are going to be needing to file their taxes in the new year. I am Urin R. Shyster, aka IRS, and I am here to help you with your taxes this calendar year. Now, as a wrestler, I pay my taxes and you should too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you know how to pay your taxes and some tax tips that are gonna help you in this financial year. First of all, you're going to want to get the right tax code. You want to check it each year, and these will come up on your payslip. If you're on the wrong code, you may be paying too much taxes. Now, I, as a professional wrestler, I pay my taxes every time I travel. I'm always checking it. That's what you should be doing too when you get your payslip in the mail. For those of you who are unemployed, if you're unemployed, get off your lazy ass and go get a job, okay? Now, another thing you can do, you can find out if you can get tax credits. Now, these are tax-free state benefits. These can provide extra money for you if you're too lazy to get a good paying job or you're too stupid. Now, let me just say, I'm not against tax credits, but let me just say, if you're poor, you're slacking. You should be paying more taxes. Now, what you also want to do, make the most of an ISA allowance. Now, for 2018-19 and the next couple of years, the annual limit is going to be $20,000. Now, this can be put in a cash ISA or in an all stocks and shares, split between cash and the stocks. Go to your bank, check these out. It could be beneficial to you. Another tip for you, you can pay into a pension scheme. Now, these contributions to your employer's pension scheme, they can be made from your gross pay before any tax is charged. However, if you cheat the system, we will come down on you and we will take the money that we are owed. You do not want to be paying your taxes late. That I cannot stress that enough. Of course, you wrestling fans are quite stupid, so you may not know to pay your taxes on time, but that's okay. Now, another tip. 5. You want to maximize your personal savings. Now, you may have personal savings. In all likelihood, you don't, because you were too busy spending monies on cheap figures and stupid toys like a dumb person. Who would do that? Who would put all their money into figures and not use it to save money? That is the sign of an idiot. I know, I should know. I pay my taxes, you should pay your taxes too. Now, if you're a basic rate taxpayer, or if you're a higher rate taxpayer, the threshold is $500. Now, when your savings income exceeds the allowance, any tax is due. Now, it's not going to be deducted at the source, but if the tax is due, you can pay it via self-assessment or have it deducted via pay through an adjustment in your tax code. Remember what I said in step 1. Check your tax code. It's going to be on the pay slip at the bottom, okay? There is no savings allowance, however, if you're an additional rate taxpayer. Now, a couple of extra tips on tax codes, allowances, and deadlines. Now, we'll talk about capital gains tax, okay? Capital gains is the profit you make from selling certain investments. Of course, as I said before, maybe you don't have investments, maybe you're not too savvy with money. That's why you're watching videos like this instead of going out and paying your taxes, okay? Now, capital gains in the last year, they were $11,000. Now they're rising to $12,000 the next year. And married couples and civil partners who can assets jointly can claim a double allowance of $23,000, okay? Now, I've got a couple of charts here. I've got a couple of links to some charts. I'll give you at the end of the video because I know a lot of people kind of tune out when I'm talking about taxes and they need something visual because they're too stupid to sort of process the words that I'm saying, so I can give it to you in colorful pictures or whatever you idiots like, okay? Now, tax return deadlines. Key. Do not miss it. April 15th, the tax deadline is coming up. If you want to make a paper tax return, you can do your taxes online up until the 31st, okay? But paper tax needs to be in 3 months earlier. Otherwise, you will get a $100 fine. And if it were up to me, I would give it to you more. I would give you a $500 fine, maybe a $1,000 fine, because there is no excuse for not paying your taxes, okay? Now, you can also use a $5,000 starting rate limit for savings, okay? If your income income for your job or pension is below the 11,000 personal allowance from last year, but your income is earned through interest on savings, you could qualify for a savings allowance. Now, interest of up to $5,000 is paid cash free, okay? Personal savings allowance meaning you could earn as much as $18,000 before paying your taxes. And of course, after paying your taxes, a lot of that's going to go, but it's going to go to me, okay? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, you're taking a lot of my money, but you should be paying your taxes. And what if you're saying, I can't afford to pay your taxes, I'm too poor? Well, that's your fault. You should have thought about that before you spent your money on toys and useless garbage, okay? Who would do that? I don't know. But the fact is, you should be paying your taxes. Now, marriage allowance. Personally, I think each person in a relationship should be paying their fair share of taxes and not just getting into a relationship or getting married for the sake of saving money, okay? You should be paying separate taxes, each person in the country, okay? Now, up to $1,000 can be transferred next year. Now, you could go online, try our personal review and see if you're eligible, if you're married, or when you were born, to see if you can pay as much tax as possible, okay? Now, you could pay less tax if you're self-employed. However, I'm not sure if I should be wasting my time rambling on about paying taxes, less taxes rather, if you're self-employed, because a lot of you aren't going to be self-employed. You're going to be working for people like me who know how to handle their money, okay? Now, you could have tax deductible expenses, like charitable expenses, and that can be tax deductible. But I know that if you're going to do that, you're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, you're doing it to save money, and that is a bad move. You want to be paying more taxes, okay? You can have a self-employed car costs, okay? Use that, charge it to your business. However, that is wrong, because you are using that for personal errands as well. I see you guys picking up your kids from your stupid soccer games. I see you going to the movies in that car, and you're trying to deduct tax on it because it's a work vehicle? No. Anyway, now annual losses, okay? You're gonna have a lot of losses. You have losses in life. That is why you're watching videos like this, okay? You can carry forward losses from one year and offset them against profits from the next. When the self-employed pay tax, okay, that's a different kind of system. Now, you also got payments on your account. So if you're self-employed and you expect to earn less in 2018 and 19 than you did the year before, you can apply to reduce any payments on account that the tax authorities ask you to make, okay? Now, property income. This is a key part. You can rent a room relief, which is an optional scheme. It kind of lets you receive up to $8,000 in rent from a lodger, but you should still be paying your taxes. And then, of course, the landlord, the person who is responsible for making sure you have a home, okay? You're paying them. They are trying their best to look after you, and you leave their place in a tip, okay? You leave it because you don't know how to handle your money, okay? Now, if the landlord asks for an item to come back that's been destroyed, you can actually pay taxes on that, okay? And that will go to me, it will go to the tax authorities, okay? You can also get mortgages, okay? These are loans that you get on your house, but you should be paying taxes, okay? I can't stress that enough. And did I mention as well throughout the video, you know, you should be paying your taxes, okay? So through to 2020, this is changing. Landlords can actually lose the ability to deduct tax relief, okay? If you're a child, you can put cash savings into a bank tax-free. However, I should stress that I thoroughly believe we should start taxing children at least as young as 5. Maybe we'll look at going earlier down to 3 years old later on, but they should be starting early, okay? So if you're a child, okay, watching this video, you're obviously keen on your wrestling and also your taxes. So what you want to do is put your money and send it to the government, okay? Because the government knows what's best for you, okay? They know how to spend your taxes, and you should just go along and pay your taxes, okay? Charitable donations, I've already mentioned, it's tax-free if you give donations to charity, although we're looking at a law that actually rescinds that so that we get 50% of the charity, because at the end of the day, the only reason you're giving money away is to feel good about yourself and not to give it to us. So, you know, please, if you're giving to charity, give some to IRS, me, basically, and you can actually claim the tax back, which I completely disagree with. I think you should be paying more taxes, okay? And if you're an employee, you know, there's season ticket loans, childcare schemes, company cars, low emission cars, pollution, you know, it's rampant, but that's only because of the, you know, all the processed food that you're eating on your high budgets, and you're still not paying taxes because you're not smart with your money. Now, we'll be looking next week, on next episode's No Limits Wrestling, at 50 ways to save money. We'll talk about tax credits and tax-free savings, and also how you can pay more taxes to help the government spend your money, okay? I am IRS, aka Erwin R. Shyster. Thank you for listening to these tax tips. And remember, kids, pay your taxes! Okay, thank you, IRS. What was that? We don't have time for any wrestling. We've got to go off now. Okay. Well, that was NLW episode 63. Yeah, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you for the next episode, and the next episode of No Limits Wrestling. What have we got next week, guys? How to start a college fund. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, if you're into that, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week.